English podcast Easy Practice. Improve your English. Okay, listen. There's a moment when you stop for a second and you realize you don't really know where your life is going. Yeah, it's not something big, it's a small, but it stays in your head. Exactly. You're doing things every day, but it doesn't feel like you're moving anywhere. And the scary part is nothing is clearly wrong. Right, your life looks normal, but inside you feel disconnected. You're right, like you're just going through the motions. Yeah, and you know what? You don't say it out loud, but you think it. Is this really it? That's all? And once that question appears, it doesn't go away. So today we're going to talk about that, why this feeling shows up, what it actually means, and why more people feel it than you think. Because sometimes this is not about your life being wrong, it's about something deeper, something very real, very personal, and sometimes a little uncomfortable, feeling lost in life. And I'm here with someone who has worked with many people going through this exact situation. Welcome. Thank you. I'm really glad to be here. It's an honor. And I think this is one of the most important conversations we can have because feeling lost is more common than people think. But many people feel alone when they experience it. Yes, and I think people don't talk about it because they feel embarrassed, like they are doing something wrong. Is that wrong? No, it's not. Many people feel like they are behind in life, like there is a timeline and they are not following it correctly. But the truth is, life is not that simple. Let's start simple. What does it really mean to feel lost? Feeling lost doesn't always mean you have no direction. Sometimes it means you have too many directions and none of them feel right. It can feel like you don't know what decision to make, you don't feel excited about your future, you doubt yourself all the time, you feel like nothing you do is enough. And slowly this creates confusion, and confusion creates stress. So it's not just about not knowing, it's also about emotional pressure. Yes, feeling lost is not only a mental problem, it's also emotional. It's the combination of I don't know what to do and I feel bad because I don't know. So, what are some common situations where people feel lost? Well, there are many, and they are very different. For example, situation number one, after finishing school, you study for many years, you follow a structure, you have clear steps, Then one day it ends, and suddenly no one tells you what to do next. You feel free, but also confused. That's the truth. Also, situation number two, in a job that doesn't feel right. You have a job. Maybe it's stable. Maybe it pays your bills. But inside, you feel empty. You don't hate it, but you don't love it either. And every day feels the same. Situation number three, comparing your life to others. You see people your age doing things like traveling, starting businesses, getting married, achieving goals, and you think, what am I doing? What am I doing with my life? And situation number four, trying many things, but nothing works. You try different paths, you start something, then stop. You feel excited, then you lose interest. And after some time, you start thinking, maybe the problem is me. And this hits hard because that's when it becomes personal. It's no longer about the situation, it becomes about identity. Wow, that's interesting. What is dangerous about feeling lost? Dangerous. Well, feeling lost is not the problem. Staying lost without understanding it is the problem. When people feel lost for a long time, they start to lose confidence, avoid decisions, staying comfortable but unfulfilling situations, stop trying new things, and slowly they reduce their life. Reduce their life? What do you mean? I don't understand. It means they stop exploring, they stop taking risks, they stop believing that something better is possible, and life becomes smaller, not because of reality, but because of fear and confusion. That's the problem. Okay, but why does this happen? Why do people reach this point? There are many reasons, but I will explain some important ones. Number one, too many options. Today, people have many choices: career, lifestyle, location, opportunities. This sounds good, but it creates pressure because when you have many options, you are afraid of choosing the wrong one. That's the truth. Number two, social pressure. Society has expectations. You know, at a certain age, you should have results. If you don't, you feel behind, even if your path is different. Reason number three why people reach this point: no connection with yourself. Many people follow paths that are not really theirs. They choose what is expected, not what they feel. And after some time, they feel disconnected. Number four, fear of failure. Some people don't move, and not because they don't know what to do, no, but because they are afraid to try. so they stay in the same place. Can you share a real story? Something that shows this clearly? A real story? Yes, I remember a woman I spoke with. She had a good job, stable life, everything looked fine from outside. But inside, there was a problem. She felt empty. Every morning, she woke up with no energy. Not because she was lazy, but because she didn't feel connected to what she was doing. And I remember she told me something very honest. I'm not happy, but I don't have a reason to leave, so I stay. And that is a very difficult place to be. You know why? Because when something is not bad, it's harder to change. Yeah, you're right. So, what happened to her? At the beginning, nothing. And that's important. People think change is fast, but many times it starts very slow. She didn't quit her job. She didn't change everything. She just started asking herself small questions. What do I enjoy? What gives me energy? What makes me curious? And slowly she started exploring again. Not big changes, small steps. That was the key. So maybe the problem is not being lost, but know how to react to it? Exactly. Being lost is not failure. It's a phase, a signal. It means the way you are living right now is not fully aligned with you. And that is not something to fear. That is something to listen to. This is deeper than I expected because it changes the way we see this feeling. The real question is, what do you do when you feel like this? How do you move when you don't feel sure? Stay with us because this might help you see your life in a different way. Now, I want to ask you something more direct. What should a person actually do when they feel lost? Not in theory, in real life. Please tell us. That's a powerful question and also a difficult one because when people feel lost, they usually look for a big answer. They want clarity, they want direction, they want certainty. But the truth is, clarity does not come first. Movement comes first. When you feel lost, your mind is waiting for the perfect plan before acting. But that plan doesn't come because you don't have enough information yet. So you stay in the same place, thinking, analyzing, doubting, but not moving. I will tell you, the first step is not to find your purpose. The first step is to start exploring, even if it feels uncertain. So you're saying we shouldn't wait to feel ready? Exactly. Waiting for clarity is like waiting to learn how to swim without entering the water. You need experience to understand yourself. Okay, But how do you explore without making big mistakes? Because people are afraid of choosing the wrong path. That's where a concept I call micro exploration becomes very useful. Instead of making big, risky decisions, you try small experiences. For example, instead of changing your career completely, you learn a new skill for 1 hour a day. Instead of moving to another city, you visit new places on weekends. Instead of starting a big project, you test a small idea. These small actions give you real feedback, and that feedback creates clarity. So, clarity is something you build, not something you wait for? Exactly. Clarity is a result of action, not the cause of it. I understand. There is something I want to talk about because it stops many people. Fear of failure. Yes, and this is very important. I want you to pay attention. Most people think failure is a sign that they are not good enough, but in reality, failure is information. When you try something and it doesn't work, you are not losing time. You are learning what doesn't fit you, what doesn't interest you, what doesn't work in your situation. Without failure, you stay in imagination. With failure, you enter reality. Remember that. People who find direction are not the ones who never fail. They are the ones who use failure. Very important. Can you share a story of someone who felt really lost and found their way? A story. Yes. There's a story I always remember. A man in his early 30s. He had already tried many things, different jobs, different ideas, different paths. And guess what? Nothing worked the way he expected. After some time, he stopped trying, not because he didn't care, but because he felt tired. Tired of starting again, tired of feeling like a beginner, tired of comparing himself to others. And I remember he told me something very honest. I feel like everyone is moving forward and I am just repeating the same cycle. So instead of pushing him to find his purpose, we did something different. What we did was we asked a simple question. What is something small that you are curious about right now? Not something important, not something for your future, just something that creates a little interest. He said, I've always been curious about how videos are made, editing, storytelling, but I never took it seriously. So we started there, not as a career, not as a big goal, just as exploration. Weeks passed, then months, and slowly something changed. Not suddenly, not dramatically, but consistently. He started enjoying the process. He started learning more. He started sharing small projects. And one day he told me, I don't feel lost anymore. Not because I know everything, but because I feel like I'm moving. That's powerful because nothing big happened. His life didn't change in one moment. His direction changed little by little. What are some things people should avoid when they feel lost? Oh, there are a few patterns that make everything worse. Number one, forcing a decision too fast. When people feel pressure, they want to decide quickly. They always want that. But decisions made from anxiety are usually not good. Number two, escaping with distractions. Instead of facing the feeling, people escape. Phone, videos, social media. But distractions doesn't solve confusion. It only delays it. Number three, comparing your timeline. Everyone has a different path. But when you compare constantly, you feel behind. Number four, waiting for motivation. Motivation is not reliable. If you wait to feel ready, you may wait forever. I want to ask you something, and maybe it will sound strange. Is it possible that some people are not actually lost? Yes, and this is something very important. Sometimes you are not lost. You need to know that. You are just in a moment where your old direction no longer fits, but your new direction is not clear yet. That space feels uncomfortable. It feels like confusion, but it is actually transition. And transition is not a problem, it is part of growth. I see. So maybe the problem is not that we are lost. Maybe the problem is that we don't understand what this moment means. Maybe we think I am behind when in reality I am still exploring. Let me ask you something. Be honest with yourself. Are you really lost or are you just afraid to move without certainty? Are you confused or are you waiting for the perfect answer before taking action? Are you stuck or are you just protecting yourself from failure? Because maybe your life is not asking you for a big decision right now. Maybe it is asking you for a small step, not something perfect, not something final, just something real. A small action, a small risk, a small movement forward. Because direction is not something you find. No, it is something you create step by step. Now, I want to hear from you. What makes you feel lost right now? And what is one small step you could take this week? Write it in the comments. Not because you have all the answers, but because saying it is the first step to changing it. And remember, you don't need to understand your whole life today. You just need to understand your next step. Congratulations! To continue improving your English skills, click on the next video or watch our full list of videos.